What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be breaking down SPX, US30, NASDAQ. I'm also going to give you guys a quick look as well at NQ and ES because I am trading futures as well. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown. So we're going to start off on the weekly time frame. I'm going to be looking at some more major weekly key levels and starting to mark them off since we do have price action actually trending bearish right now. We actually do have lower lows and lower highs. So few areas to kind of keep in mind here. The first area I'm going to be paying attention to here based off of the weekly time frame is going to be this 41.75 area. This is going to be a weekly resistance range. Now I'm going to be marking off 41.75 here simply because of the resistance that we have, the support that we have throughout this entire range here as well. So that is going to be a key level for me here. I am also going to be marking off this kind of 4300 range, which is going to be area of support. Trying to find the best, most accurate area here. So we do have this 4278 that I'm going to be marking off here as well. And I'm going to be marking off 4278 because, of course, we do have resistance throughout this range. And we also have support multiple times that price action actually did reject. But now we are currently trading under that previous area. I mean, we could go a little bit higher and start marking off some of these other areas, such as this area up here. But this is going to be the last area that I'm going to mark off based off of the weekly time frame, just because price action is trading so low. So these are going to be the three weekly key levels I'm going to be paying attention to here: 43.61, 42.78, and 41.74. So we did have big rejections towards the upside last week. Nice break and retest setup did play out. We had price action with a ton of bearish volume close under this area of previous support, insinuating that we actually can see price action trading lower. Now, if we go to a daily time frame perspective, we can actually see this in a little bit more detail. We actually see price action is forming lower lows and lower highs, insinuating that we are in a bearish condition on the daily time frame. So not until we break above this 44 hundreds area, we're not going to be in a bullish condition, because price action, remember, can come all the way back up and bounce and continue to go down, and that'll still be a bearish trend. So not until price action can actually break above 4400, retest, reject, and then continue to go up and form a three-leg extension, would I consider us to be in a bearish trend on the S&P, or in a bullish trend on the S&P 500. Now, does that mean that I wouldn't take any buy positions along the way up if prices start going up? No, that's not what that means. I'm just saying we're taking a look at overall structure here. Now, price action did close with a ton of volume on the daily time frame, and as you guys can clearly tell, we do have support here on the daily time frame. So this is going to be an area on the daily that I'm going to have marked off, which is going to be 44,222, which price action did actually hold for quite a few days, but now we actually have a strong close under. So coming into tomorrow's session, I'm going to be mainly looking to see if price action can continue to hold under. We can expect some pullbacks because, again, it is going to be a new weekly time frame, just like we saw on the beginning of the week of last week's candlestick. We saw a huge move to the upside, and then price started pretty much just falling off, is something that we can potentially expect. So where could we possibly see pullbacks to? Ultimately, it's just really going to depend. So there's a few areas I do want to keep in mind. So price did close under this area on the daily time frame, which we also do have support pretty much right here on the 4-hour time frame. This is something that we need to take into consideration. So this is going to be the overall zone that I'm going to be looking at here. In between this 4230s and this 4200s range is going to be pretty much support 4218. That's going to be the area of support I'm going to be paying attention to here, where we could potentially see a bounce back up into the resistance ranges here at the 4-hour time frame. So it's going to be pretty much along this area here, 4260s. Let's call this. I'm going to also mark off 4260 as well, because this is going to be a 4-hour level over here where we could see a possible pullback too. And if price breaks above 4260s, we could see price come all the way back up. So now, what can we expect going into tomorrow morning in terms of like a longer term time frame perspective? So we do have price action trading at our major support range. Now, if price action does actually bounce off of this area and reject, we could possibly see price pull all the way back up into the 4250s, 4260s range. If price action does reject that, I would definitely be looking for sells down to the 4225s. Or if price action actually breaks under overnight session, then I would be looking for a retest rejection of 4233, 4228. Look for shorts back down into 4174. Now, if price action actually does break above this 4260s range, we could expect pullbacks all the way back up into this weekly level, where we could look for that bounce play and look for for prices sell back down to the 42.60s, maybe 42.30s. Now, of course, if price action breaks above 42.80, and then I mean we could easily see 4300s again. That's going to be for the S&P 500. I am going to be looking to go short because of the reasons that I stated on the daily time frame, of course. So I am going to be looking to go short at these levels or possibly a break and retest of these areas here. Anywhere in between, I'm not interested to really look to take a possible position, of course. So I'm going to reset my levels in the mornings, but they should be roughly around the same. Now with the Nasdaq, so on the Nasdaq we have the weekly time frame here. We have price action close under our major weekly support level being 14,698. Super strong close under support. So definitely we can expect maybe a pullback into this area, into the 14,700s, and then look for price to fall off from there. That's going to be my initial reaction based off of the weekly time frame. Now the daily time frame, price action is actually approaching this area of support all the way down here. So I'm going to mark this off as daily, but we still have that break in that retest pending on the weekly time frame from that weekly time frame level. Keep in mind, this is what price action looks like on the daily. Don't be confused and think, oh yeah, you know what, we could see a huge trend change from here. Now, although yes, we can see a bounce off the daily time frame from here, the weekly close was so much strength to the downside, and we actually closed under this area of support. Notice on how these previous weeks price action failed to actually close under 14,700, but this previous week that we actually had, which is last trading week, we actually had price action close under 14,700. So in situations like this, based off the weekly time frame, what we could basically expect is we need to see if price action will pull all the way back up into this weekly resistance range or previous support range and see if it holds as resistance. If it holds as resistance, then we could easily see shorts. Now, if we already have that marked off on the weekly time frame, all we need to do is plan for how we're going to take that setup on the daily or the hour time, or sorry, on the hour or the 15-minute time frame. We can already see that price action already did give us a break and retest of that 14,700 range. Now, all we would simply be waiting for is for price action to pull back up into 14,700. That's going to be the first setup I'm going to be looking for, a pullback into 14,700, looking for that bounce play. Or if price action does end up breaking under support, I'm going to pretty much just wait and establish that price action is going to continue to hold this 14,500s area as newfound resistance. And if we could see that, then we could easily see a sell-off. Now, where could we possibly see a sell-off to? I mean, there's a few areas that we can keep in mind basing this off the daily time frame. I mean, I would be probably looking at this 14 to 47 range. That's going to be the next key level that I'm going to be basically paying attention to here on the 4-hour time frame, the hour time frame, the 15-minute time frame as well. So that's going to be the Nasdaq and then US 30. So US 30 is super clean as well. We have US 30 currently approaching this area of support on the daily time frame, which is where I would look for US 30 to actually travel to. Now, you guys probably know I personally don't trade US 30, but just to break down US 30, because I know there's a lot of US 30 traders out there, price action currently did actually give us a nice solid break of the lowest low on the previous weekly time frame, where price action did actually close with a lot of bearish volume. Now, breaking this down to the daily time frame, we could easily see nice breaks and retest setups going on here based off the daily time frame. We do have that big push. So I would still expect price action to come all the way down into 32, basically 32,900 is where I would be looking for price action to go all the way down to. That's going to be our area of support on the daily time frame, 32,900. So if you guys want to adjust your levels to 32,900, you more than likely can. Now, breaking this down to like intraday time frames, we have the hour time frame over here as well. So we can obviously mark off this area being an H1 level. Now, if price action does end up coming back up, I would look for price action to reject this area of support here or this previous resistance range at 33,170. That would create good short opportunities down into the 32,900s. Now, if we wake up tomorrow morning pre-market and we actually see price trading at 32,900, you could look for a possible bounce play back up into 33,170. Just keep in mind that would be a counter trend position. Now, if price does break under 930s, then we could obviously look for that retest rejection, continue to actually look for some possible shorts here, maybe down into the 32,600s, which would be a massive move. That is gonna basically conclude the breakdown. Nasdaq, or sorry, ES and NQ are roughly going to be on the same boat, so just keep that in mind for all of my futures traders out there. For those of you guys that don't already know, we actually did open up a wait list, so you guys can actually come trade live with me via Zoom and potentially take the same trades that I'm taking. I will drop the wait list down under this video for any of you guys that are interested. Other than that, everybody, I hope you guys have a fantastic trading week. For any of you guys that have any questions at any moment in time, feel free to just hit me up on Instagram. For those of you guys that are in DTI, of course, just send me a message on Discord and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. Take care, everybody, and have a fantastic trading week.